Welcome to another episode of In Your Business. Today I'm rather excited because I'm going to get an interview with an individual who just recently opened a business here in Richmond, Indiana. It's not a new business for him, it's just a new location for him. But what I'm looking forward to today is just learning about him, but then also learning about his ideas and models of doing business. As a business instructor here at the university, I work with students quite often. And then when I have the opportunity on the show to turn that around and learn from the entrepreneurs myself and learn their different strategies, it's kind of fun to see if that's kind of the same strategies we talk about in class. So today, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Tim. Appreciate you inviting me here. I'm excited to tell you what we're doing in Richmond.
Well, Louise Keen, I'm looking forward to having that conversation with you. You're also known as the mayor of Uranus. Is that correct?
That is correct. I am the mayor of Uranus. Now, mayor of Uranus in Missouri and mayor of Uranus in Indiana. So Uranus, Indiana, yeah.
Okay. Well, we're going to learn about that.
All right.
But before we do, what I always like to do on the show is go back in time and learn about you just as a child. Where did you grow up?
So it's a little rural town in southwest Missouri called Cassville, Missouri. It's the county seat. It was at the time 2,000 people. There's more cattle in the county than there are people.
Is that true today still?
Yeah, still there's more mama cows in Berry County than there are people.
Wow.
Yeah.
So growing up, very small town, very small community, and so that's good. You probably knew the majority of the people in that community.
Yes, yeah.
And they knew you.
They knew me. That's for sure. I've always been a bit of a character, Tim.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, very good. So let's talk about that, though. As just a young person, maybe grade school, very early on, what were you thinking you might like to do when you grow up?
Well, I thought that my parents owned a livestock market, and we had cattle farms, and I just thought that's what I would be doing, order buying cattle for feedlots and run the sale barn and run the farms.
So that's what you were doing as a young person, and you
Yeah.
thought that's what you're going to be doing for your
Yeah,
career.
until my older brother got killed in a car wreck at 25, and I was 23.
Okay.
And that kind of just changed everything. It changed my dad, and he just kind of stopped.
Okay.
And it just shut him down.
Yeah,
We had built a
certainly,
very
yeah.
big business, and everybody was integrated, and it just kind of shut my dad down.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, but at the same time, it's another way we can understand what happens. Okay.
Yeah, right.
Let's go back a little before that, because I think you said you were 23. Is that correct?
Yes,
when
that's
that
correct.
happened?
Yeah.
So let's go back to those high school years, though.
Yeah, oh, man.
What were you doing in high school?
Drinking a lot.
In high school?
Oh man, I was the party animal. Yes, I was a horrible person.
Okay.
I was that party, go to school and party guy. And we work on the farms. We worked in the livestock market, but. I made a lot of money, and I said it was the worst thing I ever did. I spent all my money drinking and on women.
Okay,
Now, that's probably what you weren't expecting.
It's not, and I was
for
going to go
your
back
interview.
to academic side and understand what it is that you enjoyed in school. You know, tell me when you
Math.
were in math. So math was your topic. So
That's what I
you
love.
enjoyed.
I still love math today.
Okay, so you're still pretty strong with math.
Yes.
Do you find yourself using math a lot in business?
All the time.
Okay.
And one of my boys, a junior, and he's taking Algebra 2. And he was complaining about it. And I said, well, you know what? And this was my explanation to him. I said, well, I'm not using all these formulas. I said, but when I need something, I know I can go look it up, and I know how to use the functions.
Okay.
So I said, you're not going to memorize. Don't try to memorize this for lifelong lessons. I said, but you need to understand how the processes work so that when, I was trying to get the payout for an annuity, and I just wanted to do the math, so I got the formula. And because I learned that many years ago and still do it, so.
All right, so I'm really happy to hear that, okay?
Yes.
Because it sounds to me like you really did learn this math, so you can go
Yes.
back and reference it. But, so let's get you out of high school and get you into to advanced education. Where did you go to college?
So I first went to a little junior college, which I flunked out of because I was drinking and partying all the time. Then I went back home, worked on the farms.
Okay.
And then after my brother was killed, my parents made a comment to me once. I said, I need a pay raise. And they go, what are you going to do? You don't have even a college education. This is what you're going to get. So then when I was 25, I left the farms and I went to college, University of Missouri.
Okay.
Studied ag economics.
So at 25, you entered the university, and was that a 2-year program, 4-year program?
4-year, 5.5-year program, yes. Again. But I was in the Ag Honors College. I got myself into there, and I got myself on scholarship, and that was. And again, the first semester I was nearly flunking out from partying, and luckily my advisor grabbed a hold of me, went to all my professors, and got me through that. And then the next semester I did extremely well, and then I got into the Ag Honors College after that.
Good. So during the experience there, you went basically from 25 to 31
Yes.
years of age. And so then you were graduating at 31.
Yeah.
And what was the career looking like? What did you start doing after college?
So I went to work for Darden Industries, which is at the time Red Lobster and Olive Garden, and they've bought a few more since. So I went to work for them, went into their management program, and worked for them.
So going into their stores, managing them?
Yeah, I worked as an assistant manager, right? Kitchen manager, and then front of house manager, right?
So getting a lot of experience, hands-on, working with the public,
Yeah.
just getting to know people and interact with people.
And and all my life, that's like we owned a livestock market. That was what my dad had me doing, was talking to people. I'm a big people person, an extrovert. But as I got older, I became an introvert, but a big extrovert. Just would talk to anyone.
Did you say you became
An introvert. I understood that from my dad later on, who had been an extrovert. As you get older, you become an introvert.
But the few times we have met, I wouldn't have said that you're
right.
an introvert.
But if I can just be at home by myself working, I would every minute of the day.
Interesting. Well, as we get to know the business and stuff, I don't think
Right.
people are going to think that. I think it's going to be the
Right,
opposite
because you're going to
still.
see me big personality, big doing all these. That's my job. That's my business.
Okay.
But I'm 60 years old. I just came through stage 4 throat cancer, and now I just kind of want to slow down. And if my business is built really around my character, and that's a dangerous, dangerous thing.
Okay.
And we've actually started creating a new character and a mascot per se.
Okay.
His name's Rex Uranus, and you'll see him on billboards. And he dresses similar to me, and I wear that USA outfit.
Right.
And so we're now creating the mascot versus all of it being dependent upon me.
Okay. So we've left the university.
Yeah,
we've left behind
we've
that time.
right, yes.
We've gone into learning about people, communicating with people, working with people. Let's go ahead and find out when you became an entrepreneur. So
All
when
of
did you
my
go out
life.
on your own?
Well, all my life, I've always made. I mean, even in junior high, I was making and selling things to people. High school, we had a walnut orchard. This is kind of an oddball story. My dad and my grandfather had bought a big farm, and on it was a 40-acre young walnut orchard. And my dad didn't want, or none of them wanted anything to do with it. But my brother, as a sophomore in high school, got a contract selling these were a hybrid walnut and selling them for an unbelievable amount. I wouldn't even know how to, I guess I could go back and do the math. And so he and I did that. And then later on, I would hire my friends. So black walnuts at the time sold for $10 a 100 pounds. And we were selling these for $25 a 100.
Okay.
And you could pick more of them, and they're bigger, then you could pick black. So I hired my friends for $10. I pay them exactly what they would have gotten black walnuts, but they could pick more. And then I got to keep that 15 extra. So I've been doing that all my life.
So you were hiring people basically right out of middle school.
Yeah.
Okay. So you were hiring people to work for you when you were very, very young.
The only way you can make money, and people talk, how do you make money? The only way you can make money is if you can hire people that can make you money.
Okay.
It's very difficult for one person just to sit here. I see people, oh, I'm going to get rich. I'm going to be an eBay reseller. No, you're not. Not being an eBay reseller, you might be able to make a little extra money.
Right.
But until you can start incoming when you're not working, then you're...
Yeah. So I guess that's a point where we're having a discussion today because that's what we're going to do.
Yeah.
You know, you're successful in business. I'm successful at teaching business. But it's interesting how we can, look at things different ways as well. And I think it's fun because how do we define rich? How do we define success?
Right, exactly.
And so that becomes one of those where it's personal, okay? So that extra $5,000 a year to some people is their richness, okay?
Well, but then you talk about what is that labor and time value, right? If it took me 100 hours to make, $5,000, is that really going to be worth my time value if I could go out here and make $100 an hour doing something else? Or if I could hire someone to go out here and do that kind of a job. What I'm saying is it's not scalable.
Right.
And if you're sick, then you can't make money.
Yeah. Well, others are making it for you. If you're
For
sick.
me, if I get sick, then someone's going to be working in those stores. It's not going to be me, right? I mean,
Right.
you already have those people doing it.
right. So I think we better transition and talk about your business because, you know, the viewers are wanting to know, who is this gentleman? And
Yeah,
what
what's
is
he doing?
And so let's talk about it. So you started Uranus Fudge Factory.
Yeah.
And not just in Richmond, you've just opened the one in Richmond.
Right, correct.
Okay. Maybe just in the last couple of years, you acquired the one in Anderson. But where did you start?
Well, Uranus, if you're having problems finding it, is in Missouri. That's where we started. So it's a little town, again, very rural, St. Robert, Missouri, but it's at a near a military base. Okay. We're on the interstate. So we started the Uranus Fudge Factory and General Store. We were trying to build a business. We had restaurants there and a sports bar and grill. And what we were trying to do is put in an outdoor store, a big gun store and outdoor store into this building we had available. And it was just taking so long. I've got a capital asset. I've got to be creating some revenue. So I said, well, I'm going to take a portion and I'm going to do this joke I did a long time ago, and I'm going to open up the Uranus Fudge Factory and we'll sell fudge and funny T-shirts.
Okay.
And since then I've closed the outdoor store and gun range and made it all Fudge Factory because it's much more profitable.
Okay. I just have to clarify because when you first started there, you said we had a restaurant, we had this. When you say we, are we talking about we, the members of the community, versus you as an owner? Did you own those restaurants?
Me own them. I'm doing the royal we.
Okay.
The mayoral we.
So you yourself as an entrepreneur had the restaurant, you had the retail, you had the gun store, is that correct? Yeah. So you had all these different forms of business. Okay. And so you maybe closed, you said, the gun store?
So in 2000, with the COVID, the military base basically shuts down. And so we started seeing that if we would get rid of that outdoor store, it was the bang, bang, bang was hurting traffic moving through part of the buildings.
Okay.
And by getting rid of it, and it wasn't real profitable. So I'm about dollars per square foot, right? I mean, that's the most important thing you can think of when here's my business. How much revenue am I making per square foot?
Sure.
And it was day and night different.
Okay.
And so by getting rid of, and that's a lot more hassle selling guns.
Okay.
And it takes a different type of staffing and time and than it does to go and open just a retail candy store.
Sure, and I think that's what people have to discover. I mean, entrepreneurs go through this, and we can often talk about an entrepreneur, and I do every day, okay? And as I speak of them, I talk about how they change, okay? And they'll be thinking one thing today, and within 2 months, something else is happening.
Tomorrow morning. No, if you can't
You're correct.
If you can't pivot in 24 hours, you should always pivot.
You are absolutely correct, but what happens is if you are in one type of business and it's not where you want to be, whether it's because of profits or whether it's just because it's something that it's, labor intense or it's just not challenging, something's going wrong, get out of it, get into something else.
Go away.
Okay? Right. The fact that you take your revenues by its square foot and understand that's important in business.
That's important in business.
And that's going to keep you successful because if you know the numbers, you're going to always be able to understand the business. You're going to know what you got to do. As you use the word pivot, you need to be able to make some quick change.
That's it.
Okay, so you made that. You went into larger retail. Is that correct?
Yes.
And as you expanded that
and
retail,
manufacturing.
Manufacturing. Okay, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
So you're manufacturing what you would then later retail yourself, or did you wholesale?
So we'd been open for quite a while, and then I bought the Anderson location, and I bought it because they were a manufacturing facility.
Okay.
We had been through COVID, and I just watched supply chains, and I don't like how my way of operating a business is, even banks hate what I do, but at the end they'll say what I do is the correct way. They don't like it because I don't keep capital assets on books. Okay. I depreciate them right on out. But I realized that for me to grow, I needed to be able to say, I'm making some of this. It makes it more personal. And as I was looking at other locations, everybody has all these private labeled goods, right? And you think, well, I'll just go get someone to private label that for me. Well, now you start, if you're not, God, this is a very long and complicated discussion, too. See, I don't know if you can just be in depth. But if I'm going to go out here and pay someone $10 a pound for chocolate versus me being able to make $5, make it for 5, that changes what I can sell it at, because I need to make a certain markup. Like, I don't want to put nothing in my store, and I have some exceptions to this.
Sure.
That I have more than 40% cost of goods in it. I don't want it in my store. I don't need to have it there.
Okay.
Right? So if I'm getting something for $5, I want to be able, if I can make it, I can sell it for $12.50. But if I buy it from someone where they've got to make their markup on it and they buy it for 10, now I need to sell it for 25.
Sure. So you're kind of in control of your product. You're in control of your
my
pricing.
Right.
And so because you're in control of your labor. So I mean, and you and I have talked before the show. We were talking about labor.
Right.
And you yourself said that you like to pay a little higher. You like
Yes.
to make sure your labor is taken care of, but at the same time they work harder for you. And so it's probably, a good balance.
Well, I always say that they work harder for themselves. So every employee that we have, doesn't matter if you're behind the cash register or where you're at. You get 401k, we have matching 401k. Everybody gets dental vision after 90 days. Everybody's got health insurance. In some cases, it's half pay the first year and then full pay the year after. I said they actually kind of hurt themselves. We've kept our own in a way. When they changed the laws in Missouri, they changed the laws on sick days, and so now they require the sick days. So you have to. They're cumulative. Our way was better, so we had to change it because Missouri changed the law. So, but we do have good sick days, and that's what it is. If you take care of your people, how many people can go down here and work at a retail shop at a cash register? And know that they're going to get health benefits.
Okay. And is that part-time as well, or just strictly full-time?
32 hours and above.
32. Okay. Okay.
Now I'm going to say something. I'm speaking out of my butt. It may be 30, but
Oh, well, it's in the neighborhood of 32 hours.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's good. It's quite interesting though, because just getting to know you, interacting with you, knowing your background is in agriculture.
Right.
Okay. And then all of a sudden you become this entrepreneur, but you did that when you said in junior high. You today are responsible for so many things, okay? And we teach it in the School of Business, okay? And we'll have different classes for each of it, whether it be accounting or marketing or finance, okay? And we can do simulations, we can practice it, we can discuss it. There's nothing like the real thing. And we say the real thing, that's true as well. I can put you into an internship, I can put you into an accounting position or a marketing position and such, but until you're actually the entrepreneur who is responsible for it, it doesn't become real, I don't think.
And it's not just that, it's not, because one day you realize, man, I've got 100 people whose families depend on me.
Sure.
Who, they've got to make their rent, they've got to make their kids going to school or getting clothes. But it's not just that it's different when you're in it, it's different in every business. So just because I know how to do this I couldn't go do banking. Just like a banker couldn't we could.
Right.
But it's a big learning curve. It's not like, well, I'm a smart business guy. I could go down here. I couldn't go run. I saw on your intro you had Richmond Baking.
Correct.
I couldn't go run Richmond Banking or baking.
Right.
I wouldn't have a clue what I was doing when I got in there.
Right.
You let me intern and let me move up, and in a couple of years I could probably, 3 years I think I could run it.
Yeah. Well, I think it's interesting because I'm going to tell you, and again, we're going to get back to your business here soon, but as we talk about your business and we talk about character, because
Right.
you yourself said you're more of an introvert, but when you go in character, you're an extrovert. And I think it's interesting because you're right. Various types of businesses, various types of industry requires a different type of personality. And so what I find is here at the university, oftentimes, every opportunity I have, I try to get the students into business. I try to bring them out. I try to visit manufacturers, try to help them understand that process, but also get them to distributors and get them to understand that process, as well as retailers to understand that process. And so they can start getting a feel for what do they want to do. We can teach them all these different disciplines. And a lot of times I will shock them because I will tell them that the one company that I know that pretty much does everything we talk about is next door at the hospital.
Right. Yep.
And you know, that's
absolutely.
you know, a
Yeah,
place with like
absolutely.
4,000 employees that's
Right.
doing everything from IT to finance to accounting,
A gift
retail,
shop.
restaurant,
Right.
everything. Okay.
Everything, yep.
But at the same time, we have to find out, okay, what do we want to do? Do we want to own it? Do we want to work for it? What do we want to do? Okay. And I'm sure the way you take care of your employees, they probably feel like entrepreneurs themselves.
That's it.
And they see the operation, they learn the operation, they know the operation. And if I was to walk in the store today, they would be able to represent it probably, you know, right there beside you.
Right.
And I think that's great. Let's talk about the store.
Okay.
So again, I want to go back and make sure I've got my history straight. When did you first open the very first store?
July 2nd, 2015. So this will be our 10-year anniversary this year.
So 2015, you opened up. When did you bring a store to Anderson, Indiana?
In April 1st, 2022.
Okay. Okay.
So it was, you know, you had really, of course, you got the COVID year off. So basically in 6 years, but 7 years. And then here we've been 3 years. And it'll be a minimum of 3 years before I expand again. We have so many things that we want to build now. I'm not just a candy store. I want to become destinational.
Okay.
I'm not trying to be a Buc-ee's or a Wawa or a Walmart. I'm trying to be Uranus.
Okay.
And we've got in Missouri, we have the Sideshow Museum. The Uranus Sideshow Museum is probably the best collection. Ripley's can't compare to what I even do. I'm serious. They're very, how do you put it? They're very corporate, and mine is very homegrown.
Okay, but that's the nice thing about
Yeah.
it is a person could go to each
Yep.
and have a great experience. And so you're offering an experience for that traveler.
That's what we're trying. And not just traveler, but people who make it a destination to come visit. It's crazy how many people have Uranus, Missouri, Uranus Fudge Factory on their bucket list of places to come.
Well, it happened here on this campus, if you recall.
Yeah,
You
there
came
you go.
here and had lunch with us
Yeah.
a few weeks ago, and a student recognized the sweatshirt you were wearing and said, "I have that sweatshirt."
That exact sweatshirt,
and,
right.
and they didn't know you, but
Yep.
they knew the company, and they had visited.
I had a lady, I was at Myers here, and I was shopping. She goes, "You're the mayor," and I didn't have anything on that had, I think I had the hat on.
All right.
And this hat. She goes, "You're the mayor, I watch your videos." And all because just she saw that, but she knew who I was, yeah.
Yeah, and I know you've had a conversation with our current mayor here in Richmond.
Yeah, oh, yeah, Mayor Oler's awesome. I love that guy.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And so I know that he and I, you know, chatted that you were going to be coming on the show, and
Right.
he was excited for that. So
Hopefully
good.
one day all of us get to be on a show together.
There you go. Maybe
That'll
in
be-
Focus or one of those shows, we'll bring it together.
So we do have a lot of fun things we want to bring here to town. I mean, it's the hardest for anything is just money,
Okay.
right? So I always tell everybody, you know, what's the problem of growing is, well, I'm understaffed, I'm underfunded, and I'm overwhelmed.
Okay.
That's it. Those are my only three problems I face.
And you have to solve those, or you hope to solve those.
Is there a solving to it?
I don't know, but you know what? You got to be having fun, right?
Well, I am having fun. No, there's
So-
no doubt
so
about that.
As we have fun, why don't you tell us about the store?
So
Tell us
you're-
what we should expect in that store.
So the first thing is just expect to have fun. And I want to make everybody laugh. That's my number one job. People are like, oh, it's about it's not about profit to me. If you saw how I lived, you would understand. To me, the money is only so that I can build more fun things. We have a vortex tunnel. So you get spun out of Uranus, you can walk through it. It's crazy. We have an airplane hanging, an old World War I biplane hanging in the store.
Okay.
We have a shooting gallery, a little laser-based shooting gallery in the store. Ice cream's not open yet, but we're working on that hopefully by the end of next week. We have giant dinosaurs we're putting out. Weather's got us kicked butt right now. It's just go in and have fun.
Sure, sure.
Yeah.
And then the product is kind of like a sidebar that people can actually buy and take home and enjoy.
Well, except for the fudge, which 20,000 plus 5-star reviews can't be wrong.
Yeah.
The best fudge does come from Uranus, Tim.
So you got to get out there and
Yeah.
have some fudge and consume it.
That's
and,
right.
And enjoy it.
And we make it all right there on site. So
It is made here in Richmond.
Every location makes their own fudge, correct.
Okay, so it makes some other products that might be brought in, but the fudge itself is actually brought locally.
So, yeah, we make our own fudge at each location. We make caramel apples. We make the roasted nuts and cotton candy at locations. In Anderson, we bought that manufacturing facility. We make popcorns, like hand-wrapped caramels, all of our dipped chocolates. It's a pretty significant manufacturing
Okay. I'm excited about the business. I'm excited for people to get out there and enjoy the business. I also am excited because I get to learn from the entrepreneur behind the business.
Right.
And I get to learn from so many entrepreneurs. And each one of them, there's a lot of commonality and a lot of likeness, but at the same time, there's a lot of different
Right.
experiences, okay?
Absolutely.
And I know I was there at your location just a few days before you opened. And I thought you'd be stocking shelf with fudge, okay? You were building.
That got a little out of hand. I wouldn't not normally. We didn't have a single product on the floor 18 hours before we opened.
Yeah.
There was not a single product on the floor. We're still unpacking.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're a month in. We're still unpacking.
And you're not stressed.
Oh no, I'm hugely stressed. It's terrible how stressed I am. But what good does it do for me to go out and go, oh, I'm stressed, and just work your way through it? How do you eat an elephant? Right, one bite at a time.
Okay.
My problem is apparently these elephants are all breeding, and I'm getting a bunch more elephants.
All right.
But that's the truth, one bite at a time.
We are coming to the very end of the show.
Okay.
And so it's important for me to ask you a quick question.
All right.
And that was, you grew up around agriculture, you studied agriculture, you become an entrepreneur, but I'm thinking that your homeland, where your home is today, do you still have agriculture?
Yes. Do I still have my family farms? Yes.
Were they the ones you grew up on?
Yeah.
So you still live on the family farm where your
I don't
parents
live on the
raised you?
family farms, but we still farm them.
You still
and
farm
I still,
those?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
And what do you farm?
cattle.
Okay. That's awesome.
I've done it all. I mean, I've done it all. I shouldn't say I've done it all, but I've done orchards, cattle, hogs, so
Was it walnuts?
walnuts. Yeah.
You're not still doing the walnuts?
No.
Okay, all right. So what a story, what a fabulous entrepreneur, and just full of experiences. I love that whole 3-year plan. I'm gonna need to know more about that because, you know, it's important to know that because people should plan,
Right.
okay? You can't just go out here and do things quickly, and that's why I have my students write business plans. Do you have a business plan?
Yeah.
That's what I wanna hear, okay?
Do I know that it's going to change? But the basic outlines of it, yes. I mean,
Good.
I have a very in-depth plans, but I know it's going to change. So to me, it's just an outline.
Okay.
Because I don't, like right now, we're going to start doing a mini golf. But do I do, fuel pumps first? Do I do this wedding chapel? Do I do the museum? So what do you do first? Right now, I just need to learn what my customers are going to want here.
Mayor Keen, thank you for being on the show.
Yes. Come out and visit Uranus.
I will.
Yeah.
This concludes another episode of a very interesting entrepreneur. You know, I feel like he has so many different things we can learn from. And if you were really listening to him speak, I thought it was funny because he speaks just like an entrepreneur acts, because he started saying all of the things he had in mind, okay? All the things that he wants to do. And he'll do them, and he'll do them at his own pace. And I think it'll probably happen even quicker than what he thinks because of the energy levels that he's bringing. So, true entrepreneur, get out, visit him, see what he's doing. Thank you again for watching In Your Business.